Hey guys, my name is Emma and welcome back to my channel. Today I figured that we'd do the rapid fire book tag. No one's tagged me in this, I just thought it looked like good fun. So it's a series of questions where in theory you answer them in quick fire so that you don't think about them too much. So I've got them on my phone down here. So the first question is ebook or physical book? Gut instinct would say physical book because I think there's just something so lovely about physically holding a book, but from a practicality point of view I do love and appreciate my e-reader so much. I'm actually taking it today rather than physical book because it's so much lighter than War and Peace. Online or in-store book shopping? Clearly in-store. Why would you? I mean, I buy a ton of books online, but nothing can beat the joy of walking to a bookshop and just seeing the spread of books and the potential for spending money. So in-store book shopping we love. Trilogies or series? Ooh, I'd probably say trilogies because I like it when I know that there's going to be an ending. I think that the problem with series, and I think that this applies to TV as well as books, is when things drift for too long, characters can get a bit stale, they become a bit like a caricature of themselves, and the whole thing just feels really lackluster by that point, whereas a trilogy is a nice fixed amount of time where you know what you've got to get done story-wise in that. Heroes or villains? Oh, villains, clearly. Everybody loves a bad guy. Everyone loves a bad boy. Yeah, I think heroes and villains is a ridiculous distinction. Most of the books I read don't have a hero or a villain as such, but if you had to put a gun to my head and make me pick, I'd probably go for villain. A book you want everyone to read. All My Friends Are Superheroes by Andrew Kaufman. I just picked this back up on ebook and I'm really excited to reread it at some point soon. It's about a guy who is in a world where everybody's a superhero apart from him, but their superhero talents are not like ridiculous Iron Man, Captain America things, they're just little things. And the story is lovely actually, and it's a little love story, but the big thing that I really love is the tiny little kind of vignette profiles of all the different superheroes and their powers, and it's like under 150 pages. It's adorable. It was published years ago. I think it probably was big on whatever social media platform was big at the time then. I can't imagine it not being. It's awesome. Recommend an underrated book. Ooh, underrated. Probably The Gargoyle by Andrew Davison. Not enough people talk about this book and it is flipping wicked. So it's a story of a burns victim who has this very big accident, gets burnt very badly, and this becomes the catalyst for him kind of changing his life. He meets this woman in the hospital who claims that they have a previous connection where they were lovers in a previous life, and it's a combination of like historical fiction and religion and psychology and science, and it's just amazing. I absolutely adore it, as everybody knows if you've been on my channel for quite a while, because I rave about this book constantly. The last book you finished. Ooh, finished. The last book I will have finished was probably Chew Volume 2, which is a graphic novel. It is awesome. Totally go and check it out. The last book you bought. The last book I bought was Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Brissette, which is again amazing. It's a non-fiction book about dinosaurs, but it's also a bit of a memoir about Steve's experiences as a paleontologist discovering these dinosaurs, and a bit of the like human history behind the big beasts themselves. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? My rabbit. No, I'm kidding. I don't tend to use bookmarks. I'm a dog ear kind of gal. I'm sorry. I know, books are precious, don't hurt them. But I tend to just dog ear pages, so I very rarely actually put bookmarks in. I guess if I'm like reading and I'm just stopping briefly to maybe go get a cup of tea, I'll just like dump it upside down. So I guess that's whatever it gets dumped on. I did once put it on my rabbit's back. It was quite funny. Used books, yes or no? Yes, clearly. Cheaper. Rehoming a book, getting it to go to a good loving home. I have no problem with used books. I think used bookstores are awesome. I think you can get some really good steals, and it's always absolutely lovely when you get that little note at the front of a book from someone to somebody else. Like that just touches my heart. Like, humanity's gorgeous. Top 3 favourite genres. I am the worst at genres. Okay, magical realism, dystopian / speculative fiction, specifically in like a kind of political sphere for the speculative fiction, if that makes sense. So with that I'm including like Station 11's dystopian, but then you've got like The Power, which is more just like, oh, what if women had powers? You know what I mean? You get it, you get it. This is rapid fire. Stop explaining, Emma. And non-fiction. It doesn't get enough shout out. I love non-fiction. It deserves its respect. Characters or plot? I normally say plot. I mean, if the characters are bad and they're not well-rounded, it does bother me. but I'm more willing to put up with that if I'm excited about what's going on, whereas if it's just like a character study, I get bored. I get so bored. So I really like things to be happening in my books. So I'm a big plot girl. Long or short books? Long. Long. I love a good 400 to 600 page book. I really love it when they can expand, and I think that links in with a lot of the genres that I like. I think with magical realism and speculative fiction and fantasy and things like that, you need that space to really like build your world properly, and that's my favourite thing about a lot of these things is real solid world building. Name the first 3 books that you think of. Rosewater by Tade Thompson is literally directly in front of me. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy is one that I'm actually reading right now. And I'm also reading The Calculating Stars by someone. I'll chuck it down below once I learn. So those are the 3 that I have on the go at the moment, those 3 books. Books that make you laugh or cry. Ooh, the first one that springs to mind is This Is Gonna Hurt by Adam Kay. This I read last year. It's non-fiction. It's the diary of somebody working in the NHS. He was a doctor working in the OBGYN department. His humour is absolutely amazing, but there were so many points that hit really hard, and I did find myself in tears at the end, which is crazy because I don't laugh out loud for books, and I also don't cry for books. So to have a book that can do both, very, very powerful. Our world, fictional world, clearly, contemporaries bore me. Never really bothered by them. I like a bit of magic in my world. Audiobook, yes or no? Hell to the yes, and it's definitely reading before you go off on one. They are amazing. I think that an audiobook can really elevate a story that's already pretty good. I find that they're very polarizing. If I'm not going to enjoy a book, if I'm going to be a bit on the fence about a book, the audiobook will either like cement it as good or bad for me. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Clearly, we all do. If we didn't, then publishing marketing departments wouldn't exist. Like, there's a reason cover design is a thing. Of course I do, and I'm okay with that, because actually there are millions and billions of books out there, and I can't possibly read all of them, so you need to use external cues to decide what one to read. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations? I'm probably going to say book to TV, because I think that there is a bit more space to really like explore it. But having said that, I'm now struggling to think of any book to TV adaptations I've watched recently, or indeed just any adaptations. I don't really watch a crazy amount of TV, to be honest. I think my favourite thing actually is book to movie for crappy YA love stories, because I don't read the books and I don't think I could, but I flipping love them when they're in TV form. Like, I will put up with trash in movie form that I definitely wouldn't accept in book. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book? Fight Club is always the one that springs to mind, because even though I don't crazy love the movie either, but even the author Chuck Palahniuk will say, said in interviews that he thinks that the movie was more like well-rounded than the book, so probably that one. More recently, I guess all of my YA trash that I don't read and won't read because I'm not that bothered by it, but I will sit down and watch the movie, I guess that one technically counts. I think anything that's got a real visual element to it. I've read a fair number of books that have been set in the circus that have then been made into a movie, and I think that the movie will always be more powerful because circus is a visual medium. So I think seeing it rather than describing it is always going to be better. Water for Elephants springs to mind. The book's amazing, but the movie is visually stunning. Series or standalones? Just based on what I read more of, I'm probably going to say standalones. I'm very bad at continuing with series, and I think I probably read more standalones. So I'm going to go with that as my answer. And that's it. Boom! That was quick. This is like the least amount of footage I've ever had for a video to edit down. Okay, it's been wonderful seeing you. I've got to go, and I will chat to you soon. If you enjoyed any of what was said here in rapid quickfire succession, then please do check out some of my other videos, or maybe even hit that subscribe button if you fancy hanging out for a little bit longer. It's been wonderful seeing you all. Have a wonderful reading week, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye guys.